or Marine into that one Proxy Reaper.
It would appear to be the Proxy Reaper. I think, yeah. Oh, I don't know, actually. I don't know. I thought Ziggy was going to do a double racks on this, but I guess not. I'm not saving up enough money for it. I think they built a few too many workers. But just the single Proxy Reaper, this can throw a real spanner in the works, because this Reaper's going to be finished a little bit before the pool, I think, maybe about the same time. And that's going to be really, really tough for DemiLove to handle without even the Lings to push it away. The bunker's coming down for Ziggy as well. I don't think Broken Dreams saw this ACV coming in, so this is going to be a tough one.
Yeah, DemiLove definitely has not spotted the SCV coming in. Goes to actually take his natural, went pool into hatch, which is better than that hatch into pool, but it's still going to be very hard. Reaper's going to come out in just a couple seconds, and hopefully DemiLove is going to start up those Lings, or the Queen at least, but not so far. Now, he does scout that barracks, though, sees what's going on. Hopefully he's going to scout this bunker, but still will not, sees the Reaper going up, and that's really key for him to actually be able to scout this bunker, though, to be able to defend this off.
Yeah, that helps out a lot. As it is, this Reaper, because of the faster pool timing, relatively speaking, on their kind of crucial timing, this Reaper is only a little bit earlier than it would normally be. Obviously, it's much earlier, but it's only a little bit earlier than Lings would normally come out, if that makes any sense. The Lings are coming out a little bit later than they would after the Reaper arriving, if it was like a normally timed Reaper. So it's actually not too bad for DemiLove here.
Yeah, DemiLove is not quite as surprised by it, or it's as you said, it's about the normal timing, but purely there is a bunker here which he cannot deal with, and the reinforcements are so much quicker, especially with the second bunker coming down for Ziggy.
Yeah, that's second barracks on the Logan, going to be able to pump out twice the Reapers, which means twice the fun. And Ziggy's getting some damage on the Queen, and yeah, these Lings come in. Push the Reapers away for a little bit, but they come back just as soon, and that injured Reaper can go back to the bunker and heal up with no trouble whatsoever. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a tough hold.
Yeah, it will be a very tough hold. Finally, as DemiLove has got this Queen out, that is the key thing to be able to box and push these Reapers out for now. And now even DemiLove is trying to get the Spine Crawler out, but I don't know if that's really going to work here, because the Reapers already started working on it as it was going down, but this may just get just enough damage for these slow Lings to be able to get in. We do see a gas finally coming down for DemiLove and a surround. The Reapers have to evacuate out of there and are going to come back up the ramp, but maybe barely won't be caught off guard by these Lings, and will actually get into the main base.
Yeah, that's Spine Crawler's not in the best position now. One Queen goes down. That's pretty difficult for DemiLove. Now, these Reaper numbers will continue to go. They've now got enough to one-shot the drones, so as soon as they get into that drone line and start focusing down, it's going to be bad news for our Zerg player.
Yeah, well, DemiLove, our Zerg player, is attempting to get speed out to deal with this, but I mean, it's not going to be anywhere near done as he's getting that. There is 14 more Lings out, but this is 4 Reapers, and these 4 Reapers with a little bit of micro do wonders against all these Queens. It looks like Ziggy has that. The one thing really that disabled him for a couple seconds there is that he had about a 5-6 second supply depot, or he was actually just he was supply block right there, which denied those couple extra Reapers, the 2 extra Reapers here, which would have done wonders. But so far, it looks like they're going to do wonders anyways.
Yeah, they do come in a little bit late, but come in they do. And the Queens are getting towards low health. One of the Reapers just narrowly avoids there. This Spine Crawler positioning isn't the best, but it's actually pretty good because it blocks a lot of the angles the Reapers come into the base. So as it is, they're actually going to come in here and loses one of them. A little bit of a premature jump up there by Ziggy, but it's difficult without actually having the high ground vision to know whether or not it's a good time. And DemiLove did a very good job of baiting him in there.
Yeah, I think it's interesting by DemiLove. After he's pushed this back, he has not put any more drones into gas. Now, he did not actually lose that many drones in that attack, and once he got that gas, only did it to metabolic boost. And the reason why I'm kind of curious about that is simply because Ziggy is having to pull back 2 racks right now, so it is kind of the optimal time. You've defended it, you're on a natural base, even though you don't have drones there, you can pump out a lot of larvae as Zerg, but he's actually not decided to do that for now, and is just kind of pulling back. I'm curious if he's going to take an economic stance after this, even if it's not going to put him super far ahead than his opponent, because from Ziggy we do see the natural just about to be done.
Yeah, I think he's going to go DemiLove is going to go for the more economic follow-up to this, and I think that's the right move. The only way he'd actually be able to really do any damage towards Ziggy would be throwing down a Baneling Nest and then warping in Banelings, and I feel like by that time Ziggy will be well prepared for it. Ziggy, to be honest, already is aware that that's a possibility, and we see the factory being built near the ramp to begin a part of a double wall if required. So yeah, as the other barracks floats back home, everything settles back into a normal game, just delayed a little bit, and there's a few more Reapers hanging around.
Yeah, there is a few more Reapers hanging around right now, even though it's not too abnormal for a ZBT. We do see DemiLove, our Zerg player, with about 10 more drones working, taking his third now and moving out. I like these 3 queens getting a ton of creep down after he's kind of denied that very initial creeps, the initial larva injects. Yes, DemiLove got those larva injects, but he had to be very careful for a while because he needed to supply that range. So he's kind of getting back into the mid game, as you were saying, going into a normal game. And I find it really interesting just doing the economic. I do agree, though, that it's probably the better idea because Ziggy would have been ready. I mean, double Widowmine at least would have fended this off, but double Hellion behind a wall will do even more damage. But as you were saying, for now, both are kind of slouching into the normal game and the normal shenanigan.
Yeah, definitely. And we've got a small pause coming in here, of course. And yeah, so the third base going down at, I mean, it's about 3 minutes late on where it would be in a normal game, but I feel like everything's been delayed by about that time, if not longer. So this is actually a pretty good sort of time for DemiLove to be getting their third. Ziggy, at the same time, obviously has the third CC, because the really, really great strength about Terran is they can do that kind of economic follow-up to Sheesh, just go 3 CC behind the wall. Even if they can't move out and actually land it for too long, it does provide some, like, their income from the mules, the worker production, so that you can immediately saturate that third base as and when you are capable of moving out. But now we see the Hellions moving across the map, kind of coming to see the third, getting towards done. And DemiLove has a lot of queens to hold any kind of aggression.
Yeah, he does have a lot of queens right now. That is 5 queens against 5 Reapers and 4 Hellions now. The 5 Reapers do have a lot of sustainable DPS just because they keep healing themselves. For a little while, it's going to be kind of hard to deal with them. But as you were saying, there is 5 queens. 5 queens do phenomenally versus just about any small groups of units. And for now, Ziggy is pushed back. Now, DemiLove is not really choosing attack. Or actually, he is going into Banelings now. But as we were saying, though, not super aggressive now, just trying to get his third base up in his economy, which is really going to allow him to push hard against Ziggy. But it's going to be key whether Ziggy goes out and try to take that third base, as you were mentioning a little bit earlier, that as a Terran player, if you take that third base, you can just pump out so many mules, so many SCVs, and Ziggy may be able to play the 2-base game for a very long time against this type of style.
Yeah, I think it's a little premature for the third base for Ziggy to come out of his base right now. But fairly soon, I think when this armory completes, he'll have the Hellbats that kind of will just be able to tank a few baning shots and just blow away hordes and hordes of Lings. And that'll really help him in actually being able to secure that third base location. As it is, the Lings coming in are actually going to get a good surround. Not as good as I thought it would be on all these Hellions. And it looks like they are actually all going to go down.
They're actually going to push the Hellions into the Queens, which will do a lot more damage and maybe even take a Reaper.
Yeah,
they're going to be able to get it. The Reaper's so low in health, only 2 get away. But, I mean, DemiLove has pretty much routed most of that attack. Lost 3 drones, but it's got another round of 14 drones on the way. And, I mean, that's pretty much a decision. You know what? I routed my entire enemy force right here. I can go into the economic. Well, he does have to be careful, though, because Ziggy is moving across the map with 8 Hellions, looks like, and enough. Actually, does he have an armory? Yes, he does. Yeah. This will be 8 Hellbats, and as we all know, Medevacs can heal those Hellbats, so this could do a lot of damage potentially if he does not lose them.
Yeah, and Broken Dreams, this was his first idea about this. The Overlord at the kind of base of Ziggy's ramp had previously been killed, so now it's going to be a big push coming in here. Now, DemiLove does have Banelings, so he's not like in any kind of horrible position, but the Baneling hits are going to have to be good. Ziggy's splits, will they be on point? Now.
Yeah, definitely will be. Will those splits be on point? A little bit of bio adding a lot more DPS and range DPS, especially to deal with this army. Now, there is a lot of Banelings on the right-hand side. No real flank here, but so far, DemiLove's having to pull back. Queen's finally engaged, but a couple Banelings getting up, but not really wanting to do the damage they've done. There's just so little right now for DemiLove to defend with. Hellbats working on these Spine Crawlers. The Spine Crawlers are really the only thing denying this army right now, but we see 20 more Lings queued up, and these Banelings trying to do as much damage as they can, but as I was saying, Queens are lost, and these Queens are so vital to the Zerg economy at this point in the game.
Yeah, really not the world's best Baneling hits there by DemiLove, and great Michael there by Ziggy, pick up his ninjas Hellbats. Looks like the last queen will go down, and that's basically all of DemiLove's army units. Lings coming out now are just really going to do nothing against the Hellbats, with Medevacs healing them, and the bio support just tanking so well. All those Lings trying to save the hatch, they're just not going to manage it. The third base goes down for DemiLove. He does have another one going up on the gold though, but if he can take out these Banelings before they spawn, and I believe he can, then he's going to be in a great position. One does connect, but it's not enough.
Yeah, one actually decent Baneling hit. I love that DemiLove went after taking the gold third as he lost his other third. But right now, DemiLove has to even take the game back to be able to make that gold third worth it. Ling's doing as much damage as they can. That was 20 or 30 Lings right there, only down to 4 right now. And GG, Ziggy takes game 1 from Venetian Esports. Second game in the very first best of 3 for Group F. In the top left-hand corner of Echo, from Venetian Esports, it is the Red Terran player, currently up 1 game. Give your hands for Ziggy. Don't even start laughing on me and how I screwed that right there.
Your hands will be a sacrifice to Ziggy.
Give your hands up. I forgot the final things, but you know, Ziggy, that's how he wins, man. It's all through sacrifice.
And unlike Ziggy, who demands your hands, this man demands only your feet. It is a green zone player from Sidestorm Gaming down the bottom right, DemiLove.
I feel like DemiLove is definitely a little bit weirder if he demands feet, man. I don't know how.
Hey, some people are into that. It's okay. Don't judge.
Yeah. I won't. It's okay. This is definitely a free nation in the U.S., not in Britain, but you know. But DemiLove looks like he's actually going hatch into pool now. I kind of like this here. Maybe not truly a 14 pool, 14 hat. Sorry. Not truly a 14 pool, 14 gas, but a little bit more of an economic one, and I like that.
Yeah, a little bit more. Certainly more so than last game. Although last game his pool first did serve him very, very well.
Yeah.
This game he's kind of read Ziggy a little bit better, maybe. Gone for the hatch first into. Was it pool then gas? Gas then pool? I think gas then pool.
It was no. It was in the first game. It was pool then gas. He was pretty late on his gas.
Yeah, no, this game.
Oh, gas this game. No. Yeah, it was gas then pool actually. That's what I was saying. It's kind of interesting decision.
Yeah, hatch gas pool a little bit greedier, but it matches up quite well with Ziggy's CC first opening. So okay with that.
Yeah, it definitely does. Being aggressive, or not even, I don't want to say aggressive, being defensive and also getting up a little bit of an economy is going to match Ziggy's CC first quite well. And it looks like Ziggy's actually going to go into double racks, not your standard 1-1-1 off of this, which is going to be very powerful simply because, I mean, you're getting double the income earlier on, and Marine's so much DPS, it's going to be a really interesting build from Ziggy. I wonder if he's going to kind of 2 options here. You either rush for like the Stim Comet Shield timing, or maybe you go for some really, really intense drops.
Yeah, it's a little interesting. I quite like the extra racks follow-up. Ziggy's not going full greed, where you go like straight up to Starport after a CC right first or something. Yeah, while getting a third CC. Anything like that, where you die if they do any kind of aggression, unless you're a bomber or something. But yeah, I mean, this is a nice kind of bounce. He's only got the 2 racks. He can save up a little bit for a third racks or maybe another CC, or he can just start actually teching up, and he will have enough units to hold off any kind of, well, that have a chance at least of holding basically any kind of aggression coming out of DemiLove right here.
Yeah, he definitely will have a lot of chance to do that, getting even out of factory, which will be even better for that. But for DemiLove in the bottom right-hand corner, yes, metabolic boost 5 seconds away, but he is not pushing out any Lings at this point. He's even getting Overlord speed and just saturating. He's getting lots of Queens out. He's heading up to, like I was saying, to a very intense, I don't really want to say intense, but just a very strong mid to late game economy. He's going out for his third, and I'm liking this. He's playing it all safe, and I'm really curious to see what tech choice he's going to take, because, I mean, he's going to have to take it soon after this third base, only because, as we were saying, Ziggy going off of 2 racks is going to be able to pump out a lot of bio, and he's going to want to have a place to use that in. He's not going to just want to keep them at home for too long, or else they're worthless.
Yeah, DemiLove definitely keeping a bit late in that gas.
CC in the main. CC in the main picked up for a second.
Ah, right. That explains where all those SCVs were going. They were all going down to the bottom. That's a big mistake, actually.
It's a 7-minute pull. It's the new thing. SCV Marine pull.
Yeah. That's actually a really, really big mistake from Ziggy, though. Seriously, like, he's lost a lot of mining time. He's forced a lot of the workers to transfer down to the natural, which has kind of screwed over his game plan, I guess. And, yeah, I mean, the natural's not... It's just a creative way of Maynarding your workers, I guess. But Yeah, it's
just a creative, you know. Sometimes I'm like, I need to main-ard my workers. That's what I need to do this game. It's gonna help.
He also actually kind of screwed up his SCVs on gas with that, and I don't know whether he'll realize that. He's only got 2 in the main, but anyway, maybe he's just got a very well gas timed out build, or maybe it is just a little bit of a that. But yeah, no. System. Sorry, DemiLove is very, very late on this layer. I was starting to say that sentence as Ziggy lifted up his CC. So after my little spiel about that, his layer still isn't started. It's incredibly late. He has now started the upgrades, which was the other thing I was going to say. He is starting to fall a little behind on, because usually the Zerg will have a significant lead on upgrades, to the extent that most Zerg builds will be well into their 1-1 upgrades, sometimes even finish them by now, whereas right now, DemiLove is kind of just getting after starting them. So a lot of his gas has become very, very late. He stayed out of it for a long time after getting speed, which does mean his economy matches the 3cc opener quite well. But on the other hand, his tech's very behind.
Yeah, his economy does match it quite well, but I don't know. The tech is a big issue right now. We do see DemiLove getting layer here, but I think these 3 queens he's really going to rely on to be the main bulk of, not the DPS, but really just the main bulk of the army, along with these lings. The lings are just kind of a support to those queens. And right now it looks actually like Ziggy's just going to completely pull back for now. But as you were saying, they both matched each other very well, a little bit unknowingly. DemiLove not so much, though. He did get Overlord speed, as we mentioned, and went to the main. But as you were saying, right now, still 1-1 is about a minute off, while the 1-1 of Ziggy is not started, but Stim is almost done, and the same thing for the Armory. So it looks like he's going to go for what he did with Game 1, but just a lot more Marines.
Yeah, and we'll see how this works out this time, with a little bit more time to scout it, and without any kind of early game shenanigans from Ziggy. We'll see how well DemiLove gets this done. Looks already a lot better for him. This is a ton of Banelings he's got, enough to easily crush this army.
Yeah, this is 6 queens trying to do as much damage as there are, but the Banelings are actually stuck behind for a second, and beautiful! Goes off right when he wants it, gets a 100% surround there, and gets a lot of damage done, but still there's a lot of Marines heading off these 6, or sorry, only 4 queens now. There's only 3 queens left, and no injects are, sorry, not no injects, no transfuses are going down, and actually the army is almost routed, but there's a couple Banelings left, and this is really going to be on the stutter stepping for Ziggy to here.
Yeah, some really, really nice splits actually, although, and eventually DemiLove is kind of just able to push that back, but I don't really think that was cost effective. And if we look at the resources lost here, yeah, quite a bit lost. 1,000 more resources lost, which at this stage in the game is quite a significant number for Green Zerg player DemiLove. Yeah, and yeah, Ziggy now floating out the 3rd CC too.
Ziggy now is floating out that 3rd CC, and now is only starting his +1 attack. Now, even though DemiLove's upgrades were pretty late, he is going to have 1-1, he's going to be able to go up to 2-2 if he really wishes to at the moment, but it still looks like he's not really planning on being aggressive. I mean, he's getting Spire out, but Spire's still 100 seconds away, plus the mutas to be able to push that out. A big 3-base muta timing, especially with 6 gas, but like we were saying, it's going to give Ziggy enough time to get even missile turrets up in his main, in his natural, in his 3rd base, and he's going to be very well prepared for this.
Yeah, he shouldn't have any trouble at all holding it. He's got the Widowmines out, he's got the Marines, and of course, these missile turrets will be on the way. I don't know if he's actually scouted the Spire. No, he hasn't seen it. He hasn't really seen much at all. It's an interesting Spire location. But yeah, he should be A-okay anyway. You expect a Spire at some point versus Zerg. Lingbane Mute has been the standard for so long now, and especially when you see Lings and Banes, you're going to build bind missile turrets because it's just so obvious. But right now, it looks like DemiLove is going to be going on the offensive a little bit. He has a pretty nice 1-1 timing where he's ahead on the upgrades, both upgrades, in fact. The one thing's going to scout out a bit. Yeah. Not a huge number of Banelings, but all he needs to take out is those Marines, and the mutas can reign free.
Yeah. Now, there is 3 Widowmines, though, so has to be very careful, but the Widowmines may actually be caught off guard, but it doesn't look like it. They, 2 will go down, 1 with the main army, and for now we're going to be waiting for those mutas, which aren't quite being made yet, but should be soon. And this is really interesting, at least for DemiLove. I mean, he's completely pulling back because of those 2 Widowmines I think he saw, but I mean, not even that. I feel like he should, maybe he couldn't take this army completely, but he definitely could do a lot of damage to this army. It's interesting he's being so passive.
I kind of feel like I agree with you. I think he just didn't really want to attack off creep into Ziggy's defensive position. It's very much possible that DemiLove could actually make hold here, but Ooh, that was okay, actually. Killed all the Hellbats. Got a Widowmine detonation. But, yeah, attacking into the Terran with defense advantage is not really something he's capable of with an army disadvantage such as the one he has.
It definitely is not, but I like those Banelings from the right-hand side just a little bit earlier. He saw the Widowmines go down and actually went around, but now there is how many mutas? 8 mutas out on the map. Not a ton, but just a ton to really get damage done while the Marines aren't focused on them. Neither are the Widowmines, but for now, actually, interestingly enough, at DemiLove's 4th base, he's almost, I don't even want to say walled in, but it's a very nice Widowmine positions, so Ziggy, essentially, he can retreat, and there's no option for flanking him.
Yeah, really, really good. Nice spread here from Ziggy. And, yes. Oh, one Widowmine goes off. The second Widowmine's getting a huge hit off, actually. Although it does die in the process. That was really, really bad. And that opens up a little bit of a window for Ziggy to step forward and assault the base. But she's not to go into it. Doesn't want to get caught off in another flank or anything. And these Banes just keep on rolling around and keep on being repelled by Ziggy. He's doing so well.
Yeah, it is very well being repelled by Ziggy. As I was saying, DemiLove loves these macro games. It is currently 80 workers for DemiLove to the 66 of Ziggy, which is not too crazy, but definitely kind of getting into that very comfortable state of the game he likes. 30 more lings were just pumped out, and actually 30 more off the top of that. And this is, I mean, DemiLove is getting together a huge arm, but at the same time, he's giving so much time for Ziggy to put together a fantastic preemptive splits and fantastic Widowmine positions.
Oh man, those Widowmines go off. Again, a bunch of Banelings taken out, although they do take out one Widowmine. It really doesn't matter. And 2 Banelings go off from that Marauder. The Marines step forwards don't quite manage to pick one off, and it's just not going so hot here for a little Ziggy. That 4th base definitely under contention, but so far he's still holding on to it. He's still actually keeping those minerals, keeping the supply counts relatively even. Banelings being morphed in, and as equally as it is difficult for the Zerg to move out, it's actually very difficult for Terran to move in as well. And despite this big wall, it looks like we've got a little engagement coming forwards, and one Widowmine successfully based out on a couple of Marines. These Mutalisks need to be dancing forwards and picking off what they can, harassing the Terran line, punching him, staying here. But here's the big engagement coming forwards, and coming from both sides, taking a couple of Widowmine hits, but it looks like surging forward, DemiLove does clean everything up and will successfully defend his 4th base, secure that location, and start to push back across the map.
Yeah, the medevacs of Ziggy hurriedly trying to get home as fast as they can. They saw their army slaughtered. They're afraid and on the run home. Right now, DemiLove is in a fantastic position. He got a great, not even concave, it was more just like a 100% surround right there and killed the entire army. Now this is 15 meters going to be able to go in. There is a Thor, and they got to be very, very careful, but there's almost so many Lings and Banelings coming in also. Thor will go out. A desperate attempt for Ziggy to pull back into this one bunker, but he's only got that one bunker and no upgrades to that either. The mutas of DemiLove, oh, GG. DemiLove from Psystorm Gaming takes game 2, putting it to 1-1.
Alright guys, here we are in the final map of the first game between these two wonderful players who have showed themselves to be so evenly matched so far. First player down the bottom right is representing Psystorm Gaming, hailing from India. He is Green Zerg player, DemiLove.
And his opponent in the top left-hand corner of Coda, hailing from Poland. It is the Red Terran player from Venetian Gaming, Venetian Esports, Ziggy. Man, there's so many gamings and so many esports. It's just like, you're just Venetian. Venetian.
Venetian indeed.
But actually, interestingly enough, from Ziggy starting... Sorry, not Ziggy. What am I talking about? DemiLove starting it off with a 14 pool, 14 gas. Pretty much, I mean, indicative of a lot of aggression, while Ziggy is going for a CC first, actually. This could go phenomenally well for DemiLove.
Yeah, this is a really, really great start here. Maybe you saw that build order. Oh, and going for the 15 Overlord as well is a very aggressive move. That shows you, as soon as the pool finishes, he'll be ready to start a Queen, 3 Lings, 2 Lings and another 2 very shortly after, or 2 pairs of Lings. Yeah. And speed. So this is going to be a really, really fast, aggressive build here from the Zoe player.
Yeah, and Zerg player, it's going to be a lot different than Ziggy's used to. I know these players have trained before together. And DemiLove, yes, he can do this. He's an all-around player, but he likes his macro style. So that's where he's comfortable. So this is very interesting for Ziggy. That's really what he thought was going to happen. He went CC first. He is going the build he did last game. But he assumed that, on the other hand, DemiLove was going to go not the same build last game, but he was also going to go in his comfortable style for a best of 3, where this is it. He's not knocked out of the tournament, but he's got to face someone else and not go into the winners round. So this is very interesting mind game from DemiLove.
I don't think it's actually going to matter in the end. The CC is finished. It can just lift off. Ziggy can get everything behind his wall and repair it up. So there's nothing that much that this has done. This will deny the low ground for a while, but this double racks follow-up, again, is going to pump out some Marines fairly quickly. He might get an SCV, but he actually... Oh, no. He won't get up there. A little bit of a risky move by Ziggy there, letting that in. If it was a complete all-in with floods of lings, then that would be a very, very tough decision to make. But as it is, just the 4 lings, it's a pretty okay move. Going pool first over hatch isn't actually that big of an economic loss, because you get the queen out. And the queen, with that extra production, that extra inject, allows you to pump out a lot more drones.
Definitely from an earlier time, the extra injects help DemiLove so much. Now, on the other hand, on the map, Ziggy did have to pull up his first CC. Now, there's not that many lings. There's only 4 lings here. But the possibility of so many more lings coming out of DemiLove, Ziggy had to be very careful. And it looks like he is going down, starting a bunker, moving out with these 5 Marines, trying to clear up these metabolic boost Zerglings. And even though, as you were mentioning, they are evened up now from their beginning, CC first, and then a 14-14 for DemiLove. From Ziggy, he does not know that DemiLove is not putting on a ton more aggression. He saw that DemiLove got very early speed, and he's still worried about that.
Yeah, that is something you have to be a little bit cautious with. It doesn't matter so much for the Hellions, but the Marines, definitely, if you move out on the map, get completely overwhelmed, it provides obviously much faster counterattacks. There's no possibility of coming back home or anything. This Reaper, I think, is a mistake. I don't know. It's a bit unusual. I don't see why you'd build a Reaper this late in the game, especially with speedings already out. It's not even going to be that useful for scouting purposes. But if there is something that Ziggy has planned for it, I'll be very interested to see what it is.
Yep, Ziggy supply blocked for about 10 seconds there, but now is unsupply block, getting that Reaper out. And at first I was going to say maybe he's going to use it for a couple extra mules, but it actually looks like he's scanned with that. And I guess he just got a Reaper now. A little bit of a scouting, and now that is faster than a Marine, so maybe going to poke out from the main base, poke back in, just checking for any baneling busts, things like that. That could be a little bit of a cool move. But, it looks like for now that's almost what it is doing. Now, in the bottom right-hand corner for DemiLove, as I was mentioning, baneling busts, maybe not a baneling bust, but he is going for that baneling that's now throwing down his third base and getting into a little bit more comfortable economic style, as I've been saying. But I did like that opening from him. It allowed him to have a lot of aggression if he saw too much greed. Now, CC's first is probably the most greedy as Ziggy's going to get in a game like this, but still, I like the possibilities he opened up for himself.
Yeah, he's certainly opening up a few options, a few roads he can go down. And for now, it looks like most of those roads are going to lead to Bio, because, that's pretty much standard in ZBT. Coda's a decent mech map, but players generally tend to stick with either Bio or mech where they're comfortable, and so far, the previous 2 games Ziggy's played mainly Bio. But
yeah,
DemiLove just going to be pushing away these Hellions, coming out at kind of regular time. The extra Reaper adds in a little bit of DBS, and that tanking on the Reaper is very, very nice, because it'll regen the health, whereas the Hellions won't. Not without spending a little bit of money to repair them anyway. And yeah, nothing of consequence is really traded. A little bit of health on a Queen for a little bit of health on a Reaper. They'll both come back.
Yeah, and these Hellions, actually 6 of them now, may be able to get up into the main. DemiLove is not going quite as queen heavy as he is in previous games, but right now we see, at least for Ziggy, he's very, very cautious going up into that natural, going up off that ramp and seeing that there's probably going to be banelings there, which are morphing in now, but that's kind of what he assumed a little earlier on. Now, unlike the previous game, we do see DemiLove getting 1-1 a lot earlier, like you were saying, but now these Hellions actually poking in. They will almost get a creep tumor right there, but there's so few queens this time, I'm a little bit worried for DemiLove.
Yeah, it is a little bit tough, and that armory is just about to finish up as well. Ziggy moving forwards, but doesn't quite overextend far enough. Oh, but this is a nice round. A couple of the Hellions are going to go down. Very nice to pick them up before they get the chance to morph into Hellbats. But there are still 5 of those alive, and when they do morph up, they can be healed up fully by those medevacs. And a couple Baneling cancels down there is not great. And the Queen numbers are definitely dwindling. This one's on extremely low health too. And now the Hellbat's pushing up the ramp, getting on top of these Evo chambers. They're going to be doing a lot of damage here to DemiLove.
Yeah, and DemiLove does not want these Evo chambers canceled. A lot of gas is going into these 1-1s, and they're desperate to be able to use that now. These Marines do not have combat shields, so the Banelings get a lot of damage done. Finally, Banelings coming on the left-hand side, actually trying to go for a full surrounded. Ziggy will pick up and go into the main, but most of the army is picked up, except for a Hellbat and a couple Marines and a Marauder here. But looks like he's still going to try and do as much damage as he can, but Link will clean that clean that army up completely. 30 more Lings being pushed out by DemiLove now. This may just be to be extra careful, but he's going to be able to push off from this and spear point into a fantastic aggression into the only 2 base right now economy of Ziggy, and he does not even have a 3rd base in his main up yet.
Yeah, it's not going so hot for him. I was really, really worried for DemiLove there for a minute, but then he just made it work. Great engagement there. Baneling hits went exactly where he wanted them to. And yeah, now combat shields. Now combat shield starts for Ziggy. That's really, really late. As you mentioned, no 3rd base either, although in fairness, DemiLove isn't really mining off of his, but the drones are just transferring down there now. These Lings are going to stay up there, deny a 3rd base for as long as possible, or yeah, just one of them, just kind of know when the 3rd base is going down. The Hellbat drops, though, are Ziggy's window back into this.
Yeah, definitely those Hellbat drops will be the window, and because DemiLove is going Spire, that's also very important. Maybe he can snipe that. Love is putting the Spire in the natural base to be able to defend it a little bit better, and he even pulls back all his Lings, but it looks like Ziggy's actually going to go for a multi-pronged attack and is still not starting. Actually, no, he is starting his 3rd base in his natural, and he knows he needs to get a good economy up, and as you were saying, he knows he's going to try to get back into this game with these Hellbats.
Yeah, and so far, he's not doing super hot on it. I think he killed a couple of Lings and drone there, and there is still 1 Hellbat in there, but it's just going to get away from this Queen. Oh, no, another one's going to come in. Oh, Widowmine dropped down in the 3rd base, though. We'll pick off 9 kills on it, and most of those drones, I think, but it will be cleaned up as well, and so far, still a 10 worker lead for DemiLove.
Yeah, Hellbats were lost, but as we mentioned time and time again, DemiLove loves this macro style, especially as this Zerg player here, and his 10 drones ahead. Not a ton, but that is allowing him to edge out for a very, very long time, and he's even got a little bit of a gas bank up, which he is going to use on these 8 mutos coming out. Right now, on the opposite side of the map, though, Ziggy is prepared, but not prepared for those mutas. He's still going into these Hellbats. He's got lots of Marines coming out, especially with 1-1, but has not made a single Thor yet, and these mutas are going to hit very hard. As you mentioned time and time again, Trigonal, best time for mutas to be spotted by your enemy is when they're already in their mineral line.
Yeah, I mean, that certainly looks like it's possible that could happen here. Of course, has he not seen the Spire? He must have seen the Spire with some of his drops. Actually, he never went to the natural. He went to the main and the 3rd, but yeah, just completely avoided here. DemiLove might end up having to use these for defense, though. Ziggy is pushing in with another little force here, and this is a pretty scary one. But actually when DemiLove collates all his Lings, this is going to be really, really strong. Yeah, and the counterattack, the Lings running into the natural...
The entire army of Ziggy's pulled back.
Yeah, Ziggy has to pull back with everything, actually. There's almost nothing here for him. Although what he has, Cannonfall and Marines will clear it up without too much issue. And yeah, and Ziggy... a little bit indecisive with his army. He doesn't quite know where he wants to go, and this has bought Sights-on Baneling play out more than enough time to actually morph in enough Banelings to deal with it, get that Mutalisk count a little bit higher, and the Mutalisk could even make their way back across the map. A little Baneling run by here, luckily gets spotted by the Terran player, and yeah, that gets taken out, but now the Mutalisks are out on the map. They're going to start actually doing some damage, and there's no missile turrets in the 3rd base.
Yeah, and these mutas actually maybe have a chance to do a lot of damage on this army that is really in a train here, going across the map one by one. But for now, we do see DemiLove, I mean, posturing for a defense. He knows he needs to defend this to be able to get on. And I'd like to say that I don't think it was a control error, his entire army. I thought a little bit earlier on for Ziggy, he thought those Lings were only a couple of the headlings to take out any Widow Mines, and the rest of the army was going to come pouring on the right-hand side. But for now, Ziggy's getting a nice position. Now, this time there is only 2 Widow Mines with his entire attack, but not in the best of situations, and one's actually already gone off.
Yeah, not perfect here, certainly, Ziggy. The Mutalisks seem to feel confident to actually be able to move out onto the map by themselves, and with a few more Banelings finishing up, I think they're right to do so. They're actually going to force quite a few units back here from Ziggy, I think. And yeah, Ziggy actually has to take everything and kind of go home, because this is a sizable flock of Mutalisks with 20 up right now for DemiLove.
Yeah, we need the definitive term for a plural group of Mutalisks here. I don't know if it's a flock, but definitely it sounds good. But actually two, almost three Medevacs are caught out of position by the flock of Mutas. Right now, at this point, this is a flock of 20 Mutas and 108 Lings. This is just such a big army supply-wise for DemiLove here. He's not really chosen the next tech path to go through, but he may be able to take it right here. And the Mutas are actually in the third base at the same time. The entire army of Ziggy is trying to go into the fourth base of DemiLove.
Yeah, given how slowly DemiLove has actually tech so far this game. Oh, a couple of Winter Mines do get burrowed down and just waves and waves of units going forth. But actually, it looks like DemiLove is going to forfeit this fourth base location. He killed the, oh my god, he killed the Orbital Command in the third base. So he's doing fantastic damage with these Mutas over here. And Ziggy really has to kind of end the game with this push. Otherwise, he's going to be facing a Zerg on 3 bases at 18 minutes with him on 2.
Yeah, even though DemiLove's Mutas are across the map in Ziggy's previous third base, he's going to set up for a fantastic flank if he pulls them back right about now. We do see, though, DemiLove trying to get ready for a very nice concave. A couple Banelings going forward just to see if Ziggy is paying attention. Well, we get 3 Widow Mines. That is fantastic. And right now, these Mutas, their only purpose in the middle of the map is to stop any more reinforcements. We'll even pick up a Thor. Right now, Ziggy is incredibly supply blocked, and this is it for him right here. He has taken out the creep, and he's trying to poke ready, get ready for that. Ooh, DemiLove has to be careful, though, not to waste too many Banelings on these small amounts of Marines.
Yeah, they're kind of a lot more inefficient. And yeah, here we go. DemiLove coming forwards with the Mutalist coming from behind. And Zerg from all sides here coming into Ziggy, crashing through his army. There's Banelings everywhere, no more Widow Mines left, nothing left to stop this unstoppable
GG!
GG!
Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to support the ASL by hitting the button now.